Hello. If you're watching this video and if you don't mind, please hit like or thumbs down, something. Hit one of them, please. I started these vlogs to kind of as gang prevention and also for those young people that are thinking about joining the military. Um I want them to think real hard about that and uh hopefully choose a different path. And so I was just realizing, no, I've been thinking about this, not just realizing, but I've been thinking about this for a long time and just realized that this is the message I should put out here, put out there is that I was diagnosed with terminal cancer in September of 2021. My PSA levels were like 1898 and 10, the number 10, when your PSA levels are at 10, that's a 50% chance of cancer. Mine were 1898. And the thing about that is, I went to the VA here in Illinois and did a routine blood test because I was going from I moved back here, and every time you move, you gotta re-enroll to whatever VA you're at. So years ago, I was living here in Illinois, and then I moved to Colorado, and I had to take a blood test there to enroll in that VA. And then from there, I went to El Paso, Texas, took a blood test there to enroll in that VA. And then either went back to Colorado or back to Illinois and took that same blood test, and then moved back to Colorado and then back to Texas, took the same blood test, and then moved back to Illinois. And I don't know how many times I did that. I did that quite a few times in the last 10 years, maybe. And every time I had to take that same routine blood test. So this last time, September of 2021, I took the test again when I moved back here. Now I was in El Paso, Texas, and I couldn't walk. My leg went out. And I was training. I was training to start competing again in the Masters Division boxing, USA boxing. But I was coaching somebody and I was working on getting back in the ring. Having a lot of nausea, a lot of pain, a lot of fatigue. My back felt like it was gonna snap. So one day in El Paso, and this had happened this had happened in Illinois, Colorado, and Texas, is where my leg would go out, and I thought sciatica or like something. But it was a lot in the front. I was playing pool, and every time I'd lean over the table, my leg would go out. And as I said, I'd go to the doctors and nothing. I went to El Paso VA, and they told me nothing was wrong with me. They took an X-ray and said no. They sent me home, and I mean, I cried all the way there. I had to drive like 10, 20 miles an hour. It hurt so bad. So they sent me home. They didn't give me no pain meds or anything. They just sent me home. Came back to Illinois a month later, and they diagnosed me with terminal cancer. So these three VAs for all these years missed that diagnosis somehow. All these doctors somehow missed that diagnosis, which shows up on those blood tests. And again, 10 is high. 10 means you have a 50% chance of cancer. Mine was 1898. How did they not see that all those times? Number one. Well, no, that's actually number two. Number one is I've complained of these same symptoms since the Gulf War, when they illegally forced me to take anthrax shots. Um, the bombs went off, the chemical alarms went off, meaning we were exposed to chemicals. And shortly after the shot that they illegally forced me to take, I was threatened with court martial or a firing squad. My mom begged me to take the shot, so I took it for her. A day or three later, day or 2, 3 days later, the bombs started. Chemical alarms went off, and they wouldn't shut off. The chemical alarms wouldn't shut off, so the commander confiscated the batteries from us. So I was using a litmus paper test, and it came up positive for nerve agents. Half the unit got flu, me too, including me, had flu-like symptoms for like 2 weeks or longer. I can't remember. And I was in pain, nauseous, and I slept like 18 hours a day. Now, half the unit was illegally forced to take anthrax shots. The other half was illegally forced to take botulism shots. So half the unit was sick and tired and in pain. The other half was like pumped up and like just crazy. And so I was complaining of these symptoms, which pain, fatigue, and nausea for a male, especially a middle-aged male, my age. That very indicative of prostate cancer. And so all those years I complained about it, they told me nothing was wrong with me. I had filed for compensation right when I got out because I knew something was wrong and I couldn't. It was hard to hold a job, and they told me nothing was wrong with me for 18 years. So they could have caught this right at the beginning, and they should have caught it. And then they could have just killed it right at stage one. So they missed stage one, stage two, and stage three all those years and diagnosed me with terminal cancer. And so, again, I've been complaining of these same symptoms since the Gulf War. During the Gulf War, Desert Storm, I was already complaining of this. I went to sick call during the war complaining of this. And all these years, they told me nothing was wrong. They even locked me in a mental ward up at Danville Veterans Hospital in Peoria. Actually, Peoria sent me to the mental ward because the doctor kept laughing at me, telling me it was all in my head. And I was like, don't say that again. And he's like, oh, yeah. He kept saying it. And I go, don't say it again. And then I told him, I go, I dare you to say it one more time. He's like, oh, what are you going to do about it? And I was like, I'm going to jump this table and choke you with that phone cord, back when phones had cords. And he's like, oh, really? I go, yeah, really. And he goes, hold on, because I was getting up. And he goes, hold on. And then he made a phone call. Next thing I know, there was like a whole bunch of dudes in white coats. And he's like, you need to go with them. And so I knew if I fought, I knew what was going to happen. The police were going to come, blah, blah, blah. They'd probably kill me. So I surrendered and I went. They locked me in a mental ward over that. They had to let me out because my insurance wouldn't pay for it. I was working at the time. My job's insurance wouldn't pay for that. So they threw me out. Thankfully, they threw me out of the mental ward. And then I fought for 18 years to get compensated. And they screwed me out of the back pay. Like 18 years worth of back pay is a lot of money, and I got probably like $7,000 for all those years. So those that are thinking of joining the military, especially non-white youth, blacks, Chicanos, Asians, you better think about it. You better think about it really hard because they won't hesitate to kill you or try to kill you. They won't hesitate at all. I'm living proof of that. And that's why I'm making these vlogs for kids like me that I didn't think I had any other option. I dropped out of school, got a Job Corps GED, and then signed up for the Army because I had nowhere to go from Job Corps. I didn't know where I was gonna go. My dad had thrown me out, so I didn't really have anywhere to go. So I joined the Army, and thinking, oh yeah, I'll get free medical, benefits. I'll get free food and rent, free, college. But as you can see, the medical benefits, they tortured me in the VA back in November. I went in there to sign up for hospice for terminal cancer, and they tested me with COVID. Next thing you know, they strapped me in a bed. I had a fight. Doctors told me my spine could dissolve at any moment, and I had a fight like 5 cops at the hospital over some. Oh, the nurse. One of the nurses started disrespecting me, and then other nurses started disrespecting me, and I was like, wait, don't talk to me like that. Don't yell at me. I'm not a baby. I'm not a kid. And what are you gonna do about it? And I was like, I'm leaving. Next thing I know, 5 cops come running down the hallway. They had to wrestle. They wrestled me down to the ground. Even after 2 or 3 oncologists said my spine could dissolve at any minute, I had 5 cops wrestling me down. And then they strapped me to a bed for a whole night. Wouldn't give me water or anything. I was screaming for water because after you wrestle 5 people, you're gonna be thirsty, and they wouldn't give me water. They sat outside my hospital room, and there's a big window, and it's all window, it's all glass, and the cops and the nurses all stood out there laughing at me while I screamed, begging for water. So that's the healthcare you might get, especially if you're not white. That's probably the healthcare you're gonna get. And so, free food. Well, the Army food sucks. It's garbage. I mean, it's pretty nasty. Free rent. I had roommates almost the entire time until I was in about 3 years and I became a specialist. I was almost promoted to a sergeant. That's when I finally got my own room. So, yeah, free rent. No, you're gonna end up having a lot of roommates, especially in basic training. You're there with 100 guys at least in one room, and then AIT, you're gonna have probably 8 to 10 or more roommates then, and then permanent party, you're gonna have at least one roommate. So you have to be up there in probably 3 4 years before you might get your own room. So as far as college, I joined in Texas, and when I got out, I came back to Illinois where I was born, and I couldn't use my GI Bill. They told me I'd have to go back to Texas to use my GI Bill, and I was already married with kids. When I got out, I got married and had kids, and then tried to go to college, and Illinois wouldn't let me. I don't qualify for Illinois benefits. I have to go to Texas for all that. So, besides being forced to take illegal shots, illegal anthrax shots, I was threatened with court martial and firing squad. Number one, okay. Number two, they bombed us with chemical agents, and the military denied it. Then when I went for compensation, they locked me in a mental ward, told me I was crazy, and then they had to let me out, and then they fought me for compensation for 18 years. It took me 18 years to get it, and then they screwed me out of the back pay money and told me nothing was wrong with me all those years that I was complaining, and then all of a sudden, all these years later, diagnosed me with terminal cancer when they could have caught it at stage 1 and killed the cancer at stage 1. So you're thinking about joining the military? Yeah, please, do something else. Don't join, especially if you're not white. If you're white, man, you got a good chance, But if you, who knows, you 50% chance there. But if you're Chicano, Native American, Chicano, um, black or Asian, you better think real hard about it, because they will not hesitate to screw you over or kill you or try to kill you. And so I'll leave you with that. And any disrespectful comments, any trolling comments, I'm gonna delete them. I'm gonna block you. I'm not gonna stand for any disrespect, because I've gone since 1991 being called crazy, being disrespected, being called a liar. And so don't come at me disrespectful about, oh, I don't think what, I don't give a shit what you think or not. I'm telling you 100% truth here. So don't come at me disrespectful about anything I've said, because it's all 100% true. And so I'm here to tell you young kids, don't join gangs, don't join the military. Go to school. You want to act tough, if you want to prove how brave you are, like I've said a billion times, get in a boxing ring, start boxing. Uh, Start amateur boxing and work your way up to the pros. Do MMA, do jujitsu, wrestle, something. But don't, and I don't even recommend MMA. I'm a licensed USA boxing coach. I've trained and taught MMA fighters. Um, Several of my boxers have killed people with one punch. So if you're gonna do something, don't do MMA. Go ahead and train, learn, spar, but don't compete with MMA, because they don't make any money. Boxing's the way to go. Boxing's probably the highest combat sport, highest paying combat sport that there is. So you can get boxing scholarships and go to the some pretty heavy duty universities with a boxing scholarship or a wrestling scholarship too. So don't join gangs, don't join the military. Um, I don't care what your uncle or your grandpa, your dad says. I don't care, because you might not be that lucky. Maybe they were lucky and they didn't get sick. But a lot of Gulf War vets died from all that stuff. Their families died. Their pets died. They should have never let us back with this. That's what chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia all came from there. All these new cancers, these new strains, all came from there. And so, anyone that tells you any different's a liar. So, yeah, I wouldn't take the chance, especially for free college and all that. And they can screw you out of so much. And your recruiters they're gonna lie to you. They're gonna tell you whatever you want to hear just to get you in there. So please consider doing something other than joining gangs, doing drugs, or joining the military. And I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I wish someone would have begged me. My uncle, Marine veteran, Marine Korean War veteran, begged me not to join, but I thought, I'm tough. I'm not like you. I'm tough, Idiot. I was an idiot. He begged me not to join, and I went. And so, if people are begging you not to join, please listen to them. Especially if your relatives are begging you not to join, please listen to them, because I warned my nephew. He was suicidal and he went bomb squad, and I begged him not to go. And he went and he called me crying. He's like, I can't take it, blah, And I was like, hey, bro, like, he was already over there. He was already in either Iraq or Afghanistan. And I was like, dude, like, there is nothing you can do now. You made your bed, lay in it. I told you not to join. I go, now you're stuck over there now. So, and dude got blown up 30 times. He didn't suffer physically, but his brain, he's got traumatic brain disorder. And I'd like to get him on these vlogs, but he and I aren't speaking. And I've already asked him, and he never replied. So I'm not gonna beg anybody to do the right thing. I mean, maybe he changed his number. I don't know, but either way, um, don't join gangs. Don't join the military. Don't do drugs. All right. Actually, find Jesus, man. Give your life to God. Accept Jesus your Savior and ask God to fill you with the Holy Spirit, because that's what you're looking for, really. Really, if you're drinking, partying, doing drugs, what you're really looking for is the Holy Spirit. And trust me on this. Like, I've been there, I've done that. And anyone that tells you any different, they're a liar. So, stay awesome and use your talents, use your gifts. As if you want to go to work do that. If you're a musician, get a job playing music. If you're a painter, get a job where you paint, cook, all that. Mechanic, you use those gifts. All right. So stay awesome. Take care. God bless. Bye.